but he's got a big heart because those over 900 yards say a lot about him.
And he runs a 4.4 in the 40-yard dash, and he showed his speed. Third down. He'll get the carry outside, scurries to the 40, 45, and will wiggle his way for a Bronco first down. Make it a 7-yard gash for the junior halfback. Tito Feliciano moved the chains. Broncos now are really on the move here, Dan.
When you're 5'7", you rely on the big boys up front to hide you, and that's exactly what he does. He hides underneath, we could say, behind his big linemen. The big boys up front give him holes.
Two tight ends again. Feliciano will not get the carry as Kyle Williams will scramble up the middle, and the quarterback keeper gets right to midfield. But you take a look at this football team, and I believe that Tito Feliciano is the beneficiary of a team with plenty of misdirection, play action, reverses, and it allows a 5'7" halfback to hide underneath that big, beefy offensive line.
Yeah, Feliciano at this point of the game has the advantage because he's the athlete, and he's got the speed. Mission Viejo is not known for their athletes and speed. They're known for their coaching strategy. Mission Viejo right here lines up with 5 linemen up front.
And obviously their power as well, Dan. Delay handoff to the other man. That is Cole Dubats, and the sophomore wiggles for a gain of 1. This is a football team in Mission Viejo that prides themselves on their power. Their run defense is stout, among the best in Southern California, and they are proving their dominance after yet another short pickup here. Make it 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, this is exactly the type of situation Vista Murrieta doesn't feel comfortable in. Being a run-based offense, 3rd and 6, it does get difficult.
Two tight ends in the formation, both pushed out to the left side. Play action fake, floats it over the middle. Pass is caught, but nothing doing as the Mission Viejo defense wasn't fooled. Seth Acta with the grab. The Vista Murrieta Broncos got out of their own end, were able to travel all the way to midfield, adding yards to the punt here as the drive stalls right at the 50-yard line.
Early on, this is exactly the type of situation Mission Viejo wants to be in. A game of field possession, holding Vista Murrieta way back before their own side of the field, and here they go, off to punt.
Seth Acta, who does just about everything for the Vista Murrieta Broncos, booms it deep down the field, is recovered and fair caught at his own 6-yard line. Mission Viejo with their junior quarterback, Brock Johnson, will take the field for their first possession. The Broncos got out of their own end, and Mission Viejo is now the football team stuck inside their own 10-yard line.
But they got the right guy leading them, Brock Johnson, and it's a family affair at the quarterback position at Mission Viejo. His father, Brett Johnson, and his uncle, Rob Johnson, both were quarterbacks at El Toro. Brett, the father of Brock Johnson, played at UCLA. His uncle, Rob Johnson, played at USC. They both went on to the NFL, so it's a family affair. And it just so happens that his grandfather is the coach of Mission Viejo.
Yeah, Brock Johnson is certainly a man who has lots of history. It reminds me a lot of the Long family, if you will. Boy, your thoughts about Brock Johnson in a game like this with that sort of coaching pedigree? Do you believe that he's ready for the big stage, this being Anaheim Stadium?
Last week really showed me that he might not be, but I wouldn't take that away because of the family history. His father runs a quarterback camp, and he grew up in the system. He was a towel boy, a water boy early on in his early years. And I would say he does, but he's got to do a lot better than last week.
Yeah, last week certainly was an aberration, what has otherwise been a relatively solid season for the Diablo quarterback. Brock Johnson, the gunslinger for the Diablos. Last week, 61 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Those 3 picks, all of which came in the first quarter, which is why they came down early. And I'm pretty darn sure that Brock Johnson, he's in complete appreciation. He's got to be awfully excited that running game was able to bail him out last week.
Hey, when you've got a strong running game, it takes the pressure totally off of your quarterback. If I'm Brock Johnson, I got to look at my running backs and say, carry me to the promised land.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what he's going to need, just like last week. And in a championship game, if you're turning over the ball more than twice, consider your chances slim to none.
Well, the Broncos are one of the best to do it in turnover differential. Same with Mission Viejo. Both rank among the best in their league in turnover differential. The Broncos +5, Mission Viejo +6 so far in the postseason. 1st and 10, Mission Viejo will begin their drive. back in their own end zone, this being the 8-yard line. Lining up out of the single back is Mission Viejo, a 2-wide set, both pushed out to the left-hand side. Single back Gibb, a straight ahead handoff across the 10, 15, cut back 20, and he is wrestled to the turf at the 22-yard line, making a pickup of 13 for Rome Ionsensi, and that'll be a first down pickup, move the chains.
Well, that's a tough last name to pronounce. Ionsensi, Italian for sure. Just a simple handoff right down the middle, and they continue what they did last week. Big runs, and Brock Johnson's off to a good start. And let's see if he leads this into a score right here for Mission Viejo.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can all tell what's going to happen next. Both the Broncos and the Diablos run the ball at least 70% of the time, but the Diablos do operate out of the empty set. And here goes a wide receiver reverse to the outside across the 20, wiggles 25, and on a hop leaps out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Mission Viejo's own Abre Booker Curran wiggles for a gain of 5, break it right near the first down marker.
Mission Viejo starting off with 2 runs right off the bat, and they look like the team with the most energy right now on offense. Vista Murrieta was backed up in their own end zone practically, and they were sort of tentative. Mission Viejo looks very comfortable.
The Diablos rank among the best in their specific league in the South Coast in running, and they obviously ground and pound is their mantra, running for over 400 yards in last week's win over Great Oak. That run actually ended up losing 3. Third down and long here. What's the play call early on in this ball game for the Diablos?
Well, it's 400 yards last week. This type of situation with other teams would require a pass, but Mission Viejo, super heavy on the run. I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again with the quarterback keeper, if that.
5 wide set, no halfbacks in the formation for Mission Viejo. Brock Johnson with his first passing scenario here. Does he elect to go to the air? 2 runs, make it third and long. Back to throw to Vitimo Younga on the pursuit. He'll elude. Brock Johnson evades and runs for the first down. An 8-yard pickup on 3rd and 6. Moved the chains early on for Mission Viejo, now knocking on the door right near midfield.
The call right there to his grandson, Brock Johnson, to Brock Johnson to Brock Johnson.
Yeah, trying to do it all on his own.
The play there just required him to look at his first option and just take off. If it's not there, just go.
And I think that's going to be the play call for all of these quarterbacks here in tonight's ball game. As both of these gunslingers are relatively limited. An empty set for the Diablos, 2 tight ends. Quick throw, flings it out far side, complete. Out across the 40, Booker Johnson is run out of bounds at around the 41, make it a gain of 3.
So Coach Brock Johnson there tells Rob Johnson to throw it to the outside there, and it was just a simple screen, keeping him very comfortable early on.
Well, Mission Viejo, in about a 6-to-1 ratio, ran the ball far more than passed. But in this Vista Murrieta defense, as you can see, the perimeters are certainly an area of weakness if you're the Broncos.
Yeah, and we could say it's their lack of speed, lack of discipline, but what it is they just don't have the type of playmakers you would want on that side of the field.
2nd down and 9 upcoming for the Diablos, and early whistles. This will be a false start by the Mission Viejo offense. We take a look very early on, and we can tell. We cover the Bosco Braves as well. This is just a Division II ball club, both the Diablos and the Broncos, that will have more than the average fair share of mistakes for a championship game.
It really would, but you've got to give them credit because they're both public schools, and
yeah,
2 of the top public schools in the state of California at that. Typically, the private school has the luxury of receiving players from other schools most of the time, transfers. But Mission Viejo and the Vista Murrieta Broncos, well, they do it off of their own neighborhood.
2nd down and long after the false start penalty as the handoff goes up the middle one more time to Rome Ionsensi, and that'll be out to around the 45-yard line for a gain of 8. Well, 3rd down and short again for the Diablos. They are 2 for 2 coming into this play. And personally, this is a football team that I am awfully impressed. They are doing a very good job of mixing up the run and pass.
They really are, and they're not known to mix it up. Mission Viejo known as a running team, and right here, expect another run.
This is the 3rd consecutive 3rd down for the Diablos here. Broncos showing blitz, crowd on its feet, the Broncos fan base chanting for its defense. Third down and make it 5 for Brock Johnson and the Diablos. Play action fake looking long, floats it over the middle, pass incomplete, going to Connor Hill, and it's tipped away at the final moment as the Broncos, boy, just like the Diablos, let them bend but don't break on defense. 3:16 to go here from Angel Stadium first quarter, and no score. Now it's the Diablos who have to punt.
Great defense by Vista Murrieta. Playing man-to-man coverage. They stacked up the box big time, putting 8 guys in there, no safety, and they were just playing bump coverage on the corners, and great play.
Messiah Taylor, the senior linebacker there on the pass deflection. It's a low boot. Seth Acta will let it bounce at the 30, and it'll actually take a Vista Murrieta hop down to the 31. And the Broncos will begin with their best field position. Well, just as a recap, the Broncos started their first drive from their own 1-yard line, were able to travel to midfield before they had to punt. Mission Viejo started in pretty bad field position, but they were able to make the most of it traveling near midfield. And what do you know, another punt for the Mission Viejo Diablos. Both teams 11-2, and I'm pretty sure we can continue to expect the defenses to come to the forefront in today's ball game.
Both teams being league champs in their own respective league. Both come in here with heavy run offenses. They're like mirror images of each other.
That's right.
They really are. Except that the offensive scheme is slightly different. Vista Murrieta goes to a pistol set, sort of a spread option type of an offense. Mission Viejo is more basic pro style, where the quarterback lines up behind center and just hands off the ball.
For two of the most highest scoring offenses, if you will, in over the last month of the season, including 3 playoff games for both teams. Boy, we are still scoreless on the board after 2 offensive possessions. What is going to get these offenses out of their own way, if you will? It's been back-to-back punts.
Well, I've seen it already displayed twice, and it's got to be a deep pass that just gets by the defender. It really has to be, because something's bound to budge. And if you continue running the ball, if the offense expects it play after play, they're going to get caught slipping eventually. So whether it's Vista or Mission Viejo with the deep pass for a touchdown, we have to wait and see who it is.
Yeah, well, Kyle Williams on the third down from his own 1 caught him off guard, and these are 2 of the top run defenses in the country, and you take a look at it, I have no idea why these offenses are running right into the strength, that being the run defense. Well, the Broncos on a 1st and 10 will begin with their best field position, that being the 31-yard line of Vista Murrieta. This will be the second drive for the Broncos here first half. Pistol set, another handoff. Tito Feliciano up the middle, and he will bully his way for gain of 3 down to the 34. A short pickup for the Broncos on first down.
Nick, this game really comes down to who's executing the best, because both teams know what's coming. Both teams are going to run down the gut. Here, Mission Viejo on defense lines up with a no safety type of package. They know well what's coming.
Well, it'll be another pass. Williams going deep down the field again, trying to find Baker. He hauled it in, but out of bounds, incomplete. He was going one more time for the deep play, and Kyle Williams nearly 2 for 2 on the long ball.
Kyle Williams has got to be able to hit his receivers deep. Reason being, single coverage, man-to-man, why not take a shot? The safeties aren't covering. They're not playing double. They're not double-teaming the wide receivers. What they're doing is keeping an eye on the running back.
What's curious is that they are matching up as Mission Viejo, the number 2 receiver for Vista Murrieta, Colin Baker, against the linebacker Christian Webb. Given Webb's one of the best to do it for Mission Viejo defensively, but that, frankly, is a mismatch. Play-action fake. Williams out of the pocket, pursued, and down he goes. On second down, a sack dished out by Mission Viejo as Parker Godfrey got to the quarterback, and the Broncos will have to punt.
You can't really blame Kyle Williams. He's a pure wide receiver converted into the quarterback position. So when it comes down to a 3rd and long, you can't expect him to create an amazing play down the field right there, being taken down as he rolled out to the near side.
Kyle Corder will receive this punt, standing at his own 40, but will let it hop. And the Broncos will down it at the Mission Viejo 32. This will be the second drive for the Diablos. We have no score with 1:57 to go here in the opening quarter. Vista Murrieta and Mission Viejo in the CIF Division II Championship game.
The co-main event of the night. This is the second best game in all of the southern section, being Division II, and tonight's matchup, Division I, Corona Centennial against St. John Bosco.